do you think sets it apart from other sports? What's it given you? What would you pass on?
I've been incredibly fortunate to have travelled a lot through rugby, first and foremost, seeing places that I'd never get the opportunity to see otherwise. And I think the most important thing for me is probably the relationships I've made through rugby. It's been amazing. But one thing I think, and this is something I'll say to the kids at school here, that out here education is huge and a lot of people work really hard at their education, but I was able to go basically able to go to Oxford, one of great university, based largely on my rugby. They said, because the rugby out there is quite big, and they came up to me and said, do you want to come and we'll help you out with the application and stuff and try and get you in. So that was an opportunity that came to me purely through playing rugby. So there are a whole range of different benefits that I've got from it. And I can't think of many negatives, well, apart from this sort of stuff. But this heals, so it's not too bad. Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing thing to be a part of.
A player you look up to?
Ooh, I always liked Johnny Wilkinson. He was always my hero. In sevens, I don't know, Serevi probably. He's, who doesn't have Serevi as their sevens star? So, yeah. What about you? Who do you guys look up to?
I think there's a lot of Carter, Wilkinson, Richie McCaw, Frenchie, Dusutwa. What about your toughest opponent in terms of a team or in terms of a player as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to look beyond New Zealand, to be honest, because they're always just so consistent, always delivering a good performance, and that's the key in, I think, professional sport. Pretty much all the teams at the top can beat one another, but the best teams are able to deliver the same performances every time, and that's what I didn't really realise until recently, that the top level sport is all about consistency, players delivering consistent performance so that the team performs well, and that's something that's hard to get. And that's why teams like New Zealand stand out, because I think they've won, 11 of 15 or 16 World Series, which is ridiculous. It's an amazing record. So, but they got beaten in the Commonwealth. They came second, so there's hope for everyone else.
How is it to play against Fiji? Because a lot of players here like the style that you play.
Yeah,
and we've had Fijians in Bangalore as well.
Who play that kind of style and very good.
Yeah. Well, they're classic sevens rugby, like old school, one touch kind of. They're always throwing offloads. It's great to watch, and it's awesome to play against. It's hard to play against because it's so unpredictable. They don't really play to a structure, so it's difficult to know what's coming at you. But it's exciting. I like playing them because their defence isn't that great, so you get to score a lot of tries against them, to be fair. But against them, it's often a case of who scores more tries because they're very hard to keep out. So you've got to try and score more than them. They're a great example of like a sevens nation, really, more so than anyone else, because the 15s out there is not huge, and they live for it. They absolutely love it out there. So yeah, that's kind of like the sevens, where sevens spirit lives, I guess, in its purest form.
What about famous or good coaches you worked under?
Well, Peter Armstrong. Still here? That's right. No, I mean, generally, my Mr. Armstrong and a guy called Brian Sullivan were my coaches at school, and my last year at school was hugely important for me in terms of like confidence and what I learned. I've been lucky to have good coaches along the way, and I think you see from some players who don't get on with coaches. And I think what's important is that whether you get on with someone personally or not, they'll always have something to offer you, and you can always learn something from them. Whether it's learning something technical, you might think that all their tactics are rubbish, but actually you might develop your own way of thinking, based on what they're saying. So they will have actually helped you in some way. So I think it's always important just to take positives out of coaching. I've been very lucky that all mine have been good, but there are dodgy coaches out there. You just gotta, because no one knows everything, so you've got to take and learn what you can.